In this short video lecture, I'm going to be talking about diphthongs. A diphthong is a sound formed by the combination of two vowels in a single syllable. So it's one single syllable, but it contains two vowels. And the sound begins as one vowel and then moves towards another. For example, the vowels in coin, if you slow it down and listen to it, coin, you start at with one vowel and you end up with a completely different vowel. The term diphthong also describes the International Phonetic Alphabet characters that represent this conjoined vowel. Now, most vowels are steady-state vowels, or monophthongs. These vowels, the position of the lips, the position of the tongue, are held steady throughout, so they're steady state. With a diphthong, there must be an obvious difference in the tongue or lip positions during the production of the vowel. So from the beginning of the production of the vowel to the end, the lips and or the tongue need to have changed in position. And this happens as a continuous sound. There's no clear break between one vowel and another. That change, that move from one vowel to the next, is called a glide. So this continuous sound is called a glide. Now, the tongue may change position, but also the roundedness of the lips may change position. A diphthong rather could start as a rounded vowel and end up as a vowel with the lips spread apart. Or it could begin as a vowel with the lips spread apart and end up with a rounded vowel. The clickable IPA chart that I've introduced you to demonstrates diphthongs in a way that I think will make them a lot clearer, and will also allow you to hear the interesting differences between British and American English around diphthongs. Keep in mind that these diphthongs differ widely from English dialect to English dialect, not only between English and American dialects, but also within America. The diphthongs from one region to another vary significantly. IPA chart that I've linked to, and I've asked you to look at the consonant and vowel IPA charts and familiarize yourself with both the consonant chart and the quadrilateral for the vowels. Take a look, if you haven't already, at the clickable chart for the diphthongs. It's really quite interesting. I'll introduce it now and then spend some time with it and become familiar. So find the chart. It's located near the bottom of the page. Click on it. Now on the right side there's a blue and red box, and the column in the red are the diphthongs characteristic of British English. That's where my cursor is now. And on the left, the column in blue, those are the diphthongs characteristic of American English. Now I'm about to click on the diphthong for face as pronounced by a speaker of American English. You can see as my mouse hovers over the diphthong that a line shows up on the vowel chart. The line shows where that diphthong begins and where that diphthong ends. And it's starting at the eh sound and it's moving towards the I sound. So it is saying that in American English, face begins fe and then moves towards I. So let's hear it, slowing it down. Face, face, face. If you slow that down as you pronounce it, you'll probably hear that you're starting with a eh sound of some sort and moving towards an I. Now I've got my cursor hanging over the diphthong in price, and you'll see the arrow on the chart is showing it starts with a sound, fairly low, and it moves up towards the same I sound as can be heard at the end of the diphthong in face. So price, price. Now, as I'm recording this and attempting to demonstrate these diphthongs, I'm realizing that I'm doing it wrong. And not because I don't know what I'm doing, but because I'm a Canadian. And Canadians pronounce their diphthongs slightly differently than Americans do. Well, some of them, not all of them. So I'm trying to demonstrate the American diphthongs but I'm actually giving you instead a Canadian diphthong. And this phenomena is known as Canadian raising. Canadian raising is a vowel shift that affects the pronunciation of diphthongs. Speakers of dialects that feature Canadian raising shift the diphthong to a vowel slightly higher than most Americans, particularly before a voiceless consonant. So for me, and perhaps for you, the diphthongs in clout will be higher than the diphthong in cloud. The diphthong in cloud is closer to how most Americans would pronounce it. See if you can hear the difference in the diphthongs in the words price, prize, clout, and cloud, as spoken by myself and by an American English speaker.
Price, prize, clout, cloud.
Price, prize, clout, cloud. It may not be that obvious. I've isolated the sounds and I've taken off the last consonant because I think it helps it to stand out a little bit more if you're not hearing the T or the D endings, if you're just hearing clout or cloud. Clout, cloud.
Clout, cloud.
For the American speaker, the vowel in cloud is longer, but for me, the diphthong in cloud rather is not only a little bit longer, but the diphthong ends with my mouth a little more closed, my tongue a little closer to the roof of the mouth. Clout, cloud,
Clout, cloud.
clout, cloud.
Clout, cloud.
The difference might seem rather slight and insignificant, but this is something that contributes to the perception of a Canadian accent. It's not a phenomena that is completely limited to Canada. There are some regions of America where some people display some aspects of Canadian raising. This is why Americans sometimes say that Canadians say oot and a boot instead of out and about. In fact, we don't quite go that high to make it an oo sound, but we do pronounce out and about slightly higher. Our diphthongs there are slightly higher than our American counterparts. Back to the clickable diphthong chart. Here you see the vowel in price, starting at an A and moving towards an I position. Price, price, price. And here we have a diphthong that starts further back in the mouth with aw and moves towards the same I. Oi, 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 as in choice or boy. And here you see the diphthong or the diphthong in mouth, starting at a and gliding up to an sound. Ow, ow, outh, mouth, mouth, mouth. Hope that you can slow your own diphthongs down and hear them in such a way. The first time somebody did this for me, I thought they were making things up. The combined diphthong sounds very different than the two vowels that go into making it. Here we have the diphthong that goes into the word goat as pronounced by an American, starting with an O and moving towards an sound. Go, 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 goat. The British pronunciation of this diphthong, or the diphthong in goat, is significantly different. Click on the IPA chart to hear the British pronunciation. Or for that matter, click on it to hear the American pronunciation, as I've said you can't trust me and my Canadian accent. I'm going to leave it up to you to work your way through the rest of these diphthongs. I do want to show you one more thing. Here's the diphthong in near, and You can hear in American English usually some R coloring on this diphthong. That is nia with an R at the end. Check out the British pronunciation without the R coloring. But what I wanted to show you is, look what happens when you click and hold down the click. You can see as the diphthong is pronounced, you can see this little ball showing you where in the glide the sound currently is. It is a glide, it slowly moves from one to the other, and this little ball gives you a sense of the speed or slowness at which that happens. You can also head on down and take a look at the triphthongs at the bottom. These involve more than one or more than two vowels. A triphthong involves three vowels working together.